So I've just finished watching Chiefs v Reds, and I have some thoughts for you. Now I know what you're thinking. Julian loves the Kiwi teams. He's going to be very gung-ho. He's going to say, hey, we proved it. We're better than the Aussies. Well, yes. On this very rainy day, the Chiefs were better than the Reds. I feel that they deserved the win. However, I'm here to tell you that I was not convinced by that performance at all. And in fact, if a rematch is played on a dry, fast track in Brisbane, I think you might be looking at a different result. Now, let's be clear. The first half was a total arm wrestle. It was 10-all at the 40-minute mark. The Reds did score 2 tries. The Chiefs just got an early one. Incredible muscular effort from Luke Jacobson, who seems to be scratching, clawing, and biting his way back into maybe a number 6 jersey for the All Blacks. We'll see. Wallace Satiti's out injured. You never know. But did it really live up to the billing of 1v2? I mean, this game was so incredibly error-strewn. And not because of a lack of skill from the players. It's just that the rain was torrential. I mean, seriously, I thought the field was going to flood. There were some early shots of the stadium in Waikato, and you could just see it teeming down. So it made ball handling almost impossible at times. It looked like a bunch of huge, muscular children fighting over a bar of soap. That's kind of what the breakdown looked like at times. So, yes, it lived up to the billing of a top-of-the-table clash in terms of physical intensity. Jacobson was huge, as I mentioned, but also Harry Wilson, the captain for the Reds. He was phenomenal. Not just that, he kicked deftly. He handled well. He is such a skillful big man. The return of Fraser McWright made a huge impact. He was very good at the breakdown. And then you just have to look at that front row. 2 former All Blacks playing for the Reds at prop. Jeffery Toomaga-Allen, Alex Hodgman. You can see why they were All Blacks. Now, Toomaga-Allen, I believe it was about 12 years ago, but even so, he's pulled on a black jersey. And we're going to talk about him in a sec, because something very unfair happened in the second half. But suffice to say, you didn't miss that much. If you didn't tune into the first half, it was deadlocked. And that pretty much continued. I mean, up until the 1 hour mark, there was no clear ascendancy. Both teams would kick their way well down the field. Some beautiful 50-22, some incredibly skillful kicking, some good bombs from Damien McKenzie. But the result was always a stalemate. Until the Chiefs emptied their bench and you had Samisoni Takiahau come on at hooker. You had Samipeni Finau come on, give you that other option in the lineouts and that good muscular presence around the field. But also you had Tupou Vai come on, who really is such a slick line-out operator, good around the field, good with his handling. So I kind of felt like that injection of All Blacks lifted the Chiefs in the final 20 minutes. They absolutely finished stronger. They were able to muscle their way over the try line. And look, like I said, they deserved it. But there are a couple of harsh penalties against the Reds. And guys, I try not to be a one-eyed Kiwi. I at least aspire to some kind of objectivity. Well, I am just sitting there watching some of these referee decisions, and I was not happy with them, even though it was to the benefit of the team I was rooting for, the Chiefs. There was a yellow card against Jeffery Toomaga-Allen, the prop from the Reds, for shoulder-to-head contact. He basically went into a ruck. He kind of grazed the head of Luke Jacobson. What he was really trying to do was destabilize another player who was kind of arching over the breakdown so that the halfback could clear. He was just getting in there. He was being a bit niggly at the breakdown. Yeah, it was rough. Yes, he did make shoulder-to-head contact. And did anything bad come of that? Did Jacobson get a concussion? I understand they have to police it to the letter of the law. I am grateful for that. Nobody wants head injuries minimized in this game more than me. I could not possibly be more behind that cause, okay? But sometimes there has to be common sense around the level of the impact, the velocity of it. And just frankly, he kind of just grazed Jacobson with his shoulder. So I didn't love that. It meant that the Reds were down a man. And even if that one-man advantage didn't tell immediately for the Chiefs, it just meant the Reds had to make some more exhausting tackles, wrap around, scramble. And, it was around that time the Chiefs started playing the percentages better, getting more territory. D-Mac was putting up some bombs. And the 50-50s were kind of going the way of the Chiefs now. So, look, it was a big momentum shift, that yellow card against the Reds. I thought it should have just been a penalty, but that's just my 2 cents. I did feel that the Reds were a little bit hard done by. Now, to a certain extent in rugby, you create your own luck. And I think that the Chiefs did kind of manifest this win for themselves. They probably wanted it more. They looked hungrier in the final 20 minutes. They outmuscled their opponents at the breakdown, so they deserved it. I'm simply sounding a note of caution that if there's a rematch, particularly at Suncorp Stadium, don't necessarily expect the same result. So congratulations to the Chiefs. Think the All Blacks made a big impact there. But watch out for the Reds. They'll remember this loss. They'll feel a little hard done by. I feel they're somewhat valid feeling that way. And they will be absolutely licking their lips thinking about a revenge mission, maybe at home.